you guys all know super extraction. When do we use it?
Remove the blackhead.
Yeah, how?
We use the steam machine and cotton ball.
How does it work?
How does it work?
How does it work, this for extraction?
So the steam will open the pore, waiting.
We call it, let's call it sebum softener. So you've got a blackhead stuck in your nose or stuck in your pore, and then that becomes hardened, and then that can block the pore and cause acne, or that can make a blackhead very visible, and then it will open your pore and enlarge your pores, right? So this one is a sebum softener. I haven't seen any Australia salons or beauty clinics that use a sebum softener or talk about sebum softener yet. Where back in Korea, we've been using it for like ages because there is only the product in hand that we can make a result. But think about it, the sebum oil, right? When the oil is oxidized in the air and then just normal air temperature, what is it like? It's solid, not oil, right? So you have to, if you want to take it off, you either have to squeeze out or you have to melt it. So there are not many ways to melt it, but when you do the squeezing extraction, physically, what happens?
Damage to.
Yeah, firstly damage the skin. Secondly, it will irritate the skin, as in it will, when it's irritated, it will enlarge more. And then because it's irritated, it will increase the sebum produce more as well. So this extraction of the blackheads is really old technique. We don't do it anymore because you make it worse. You only make it worse. I heard that still in Australia or there's some Asian countries, they still do the extractions a lot in the salon. And that's why when they call you in here and then they call you, or do you do the extraction? That means I want to get rid of the blackheads. Then you have to straight away know I need to get rid of the blackheads. And then to get rid of the blackheads in the salon, to do without the irritation and then make it better and make improvement, you will have to use this sebum softener. In Korea, there are many companies making a sebum softener because it's like must step in facial. There are a lot of YouTubers and a lot of reviews about this sebum softener product. I've been using many different sebum softener, and then there are, for example, in Australia, I think there are one more company which is huge, Medipil, called Medipil. I think you guys heard of it already. I compared with every different sebum softener and companies and ingredients in there. The good thing about these guys is that, firstly, you know what, you remember I told you guys, sebum softener, how it works is these products make the sebum to be a soap. Have you learned how to make a soap in your high school?
Be wax?
Yeah, so when you make a soap, you need oil, right?
Yeah.
So this, your sebum, is one of the substance to become a soap. So these products will make a chemical structure change and then make it to be soap. Then when it becomes soap, you rub it and then you dilute into the water and then you get it out, right? So that's how it works. So this one, compared to the other companies, it makes sebum to be soap. Of course, that's the mechanism. Plus, it has some ingredients that can do the anti-inflammatory. And then, well, soothing, of course, where other companies, they put AHA and BHA in there normally, the peeling agent in there normally. When you think about this mechanism, firstly, soap is alkali, right? And then peeling is acid. So when you just imagine oh, alkali plus acid, what's gonna be? It will conflict each other with the pH. Right, so I'm thinking, is it gonna work properly as in that purpose? And secondly, it's already a bit of forcing way to your skin, making a soap, right? But then when you put peeling agent in there, for the next, let's think about the facial step. For the next step, if you go for other exfoliant or other work which is a bit irritating or which is a bit harsh on the skin, because it's salon, you have to do some of the facials has effect in there, right? So if you do a little bit of intensive treatments after that, then it will be pretty sensitive. So if you're not really an expert in skin treatments, you might irritate the skin, you might make some trouble in the from your facials. So this one main purpose is to melt the sebum, bring it up, which means pore cleansing, not the exfoliant. I'm not sure why the companies, they always put the peeling agent in there, but I believe this has to have a separate purpose, because main purpose is to clean the pore. So this guys doesn't include any of the the peeling agent in there. So you have to be aware of that this product is pore cleanser. But then they say, a lot of YouTubers say, oh, medical is better, other products is better. I've tried it, and then they're taking the videos for themselves and doing it and blah blah blah. And when you look at the videos, you will have to notice that they just do it in an air temperature. Do you see any error in there? They just do it. They do experiments with a few different companies in an air temperature. They just soak into the cotton pad and do it. Do you see any error in there? You just told me what to do. Exactly. Yeah, why?
To open the pore.
To open the pore? And the oil.
And the oil.
Oil. You have to make a soap and oil. You need a temperature. It's a solid surface, right? It's a solid. You need a temperature to make it happen. But then when they do the experiment with the air temperature, 1, 2, 3 company, and then two other companies, for example, they have a peeling in there. Well, after you finish, maybe it's really a smooth. Maybe it feel a little better, more effective. So many of the YouTubers, they raise other companies' hand for it. But when I actually use it in the facials, too irritating. But if you really use it with a steamer in the right way, you can see this one very effectively. All of you guys saw that the sebum came up white. You can see that, right? So they prefer the other companies maybe because of the peeling agent and make the surface a little bit smoother after finish. But actually, if you're smart enough, you have to be able to know why they got that effect without the steamer in there, and then why people prefer that better. But eventually, if you only see the smoothness effect, you don't really see the pore cleansing effect without that. So that's why I've chosen these products rather than other very popular products. Many of, I think most of the Australian clinics, they do hydrofacial. I haven't seen, first time when they just got into Australia, I haven't seen someone use a steamer with a hydrofacial. There was a hydrofacial and then microdermabrasion. Microdermabrasion came in first. Hydrofacial came in later. So microdermabrasion is like a diamond tip, like surfacing the skin, right? And then hydrofacial is more like sucking up from the pore. And then nowadays, new hydrofacial, it's more combining 2 steps. And then nowadays, again, advanced, they do the ampoule infusion after. But I haven't seen, before I haven't seen a steamer used in the hydrofacial, but then nowadays they're starting to use a steamer. But then still I haven't seen they do this kind of sebum softener yet. But think about it. Okay, the steamer open the pore a little bit and the steamer make the keratin a little softer so that you can take it off a little easier. Maybe microdermabrasion with the solution can work better than before. But if you don't melt the sebum, how are you going to take it out? Some pores are deep. Some acnes are deep as well, thickened skin, and if you don't use this skin softener, then either you can't take it out, or you have to make a suction higher. If you make a suction higher, what's going to be happen? Yeah, damage. It's even if you increase the suction higher, it can't drag out safely from the bottom. But secondly, you damage on the way to suck up all this. So it's really smart to use this sebum softener for pore cleansing. What kind of condition needs a pore cleansing?
What kind of condition of pore?
Oily, yeah, too oily, and then blackheads, and then acne. Right, that's why this guy is saying, oh, we're good at cleansing blackheads, we're good at acne treatments. But at the same time, because they tried to put some of the ingredients which has anti-inflammatory and soothing, and then sage, antibacterial and soothing, and those kind of stuff, and the peppermint to soothe. Well, they said the peppermint will cool down the skin and shrink the skin as well, but to be honest, with the steamer, you cannot cool down the skin, but during the absorption, it's not good to be cool. So you can just ignore about the peppermint in there, but still because of the sage and then witch hazel, it can do the anti-inflammatory at the same time. So still good for acne as well. So you have to, when you use these products, you have to see this white thingy here come up. Then it's the enough time that you can suck it up. So these are the before and afters that they've tried. But one another thing, when you use it, one another thing that you have to think about, 2 things that you have to think about. Why do we do ampoule infusion?
Why do we do infusion?
Why do we do ampoule
Because we
infusion?
check it out, so there's something to fill it in.
Yeah, so when you empty the pore, it's empty. If your skin feels it's empty, then it will feel like I'm dry. It's dry. So I need to protect it. The only thing that your skin can do is to produce oil. Your skin cannot produce water from inside to the outside of the skin, so they will produce oil more. What's going to happen? It's bad routine. You make more blackheads. So this is not the full step that you think about with these treatments. That's so stupid. So whenever you do the pore cleansing, you have to replace with the water into there. So first thing when you use these products, you have to, this one you sell it to the clients and then you do it in your treatment as well. You have to inform your client. Yourself has to do that. You must hydrate. Put the hydration into the empty pore. Let's say if you know enough that water is not going to get into the skin, then what you need to do, you have to be able to know, okay, with the products, if I want to replace with the water into the empty pore, what products do I need to use? Then, ampoule type, it has to be a little bit more penetrative. Because if you just put the water, pull the water onto the skin, then it's not gonna go in. Yeah? So something has to be able to absorb into the pore. And then one another thing, alkali, what can you think? Alkali, this one makes a soap, soap means alkali. What do you need to think? pH balance, guys.
pH balance.
pH balance, your skin normally is able to make the pH balance by itself, but then when you are sensitive, when you are older, when you are in another, like some environment, maybe it's not able to make a pH balance. What does a pH balance do?
What does pH balance
pH,
do? To balance your
pH balance is to fight with bacteria. So that's one another your skin protection. So when you have an alkali on your skin, then if your skin is healthy enough that can make it back to the normal pH balance that you've got, it's good. But if it's weak, if I'm not able to make it back, then you have to put the pH back, which is sensitive skin. You can imagine the acne. One of the reasons for the acne is bacterial activity, isn't it? Bacteria, P. acne bacteria meets the sebum, and then they eat the sebum, they be active, and then they cause inflammation. That's one of the cause of the acne, bacteria. So pH balance is to fight with the bacteria. If this client has acne, pimples, that means, oh, his skin might not be able to make a pH balance in. Then you have to put the pH balance back with the products. Normally, what does the pH balance do? I explained to you already. Toner has a pH balancing agent normally in a facial. Why is your face look very new? I explained why many times. Nurse.
You got your point. You got it.
Well, yeah, that's not the point. The point is that, do you guys remember?
Will we remember?
These days, before, because most of the cleanser was made with alkali soap. Cleanser was like foam type soap, a lot of bubbles. That's why it destroyed the pH balance, and then that's why they made a toner step to be making a pH balance back. Yeah, one of the main function of the toner is the pH balance. But these days, many of the products like this pH Dharma, this is to make a pH balance too. So it depends on the next step, what am I going to do with it or what procedure, then we can use some of the products to cope with that. But please do remember, these products, if you don't have ability to put the pH balance back, you have to see whether this skin is sensitive or acne, then you have to be able to put it back. Or if you empty the pore, then you have to replace with the water. Have you got everything? Then how you gonna use with these products? It's really silly to just sell it to the clients. Okay, this is a pore cleanser. You just soak into the cotton pad and then put it on for 20 minutes and then rub it out. That's really silly. That's why you have to inform to the clients. You have to soak enough because this solution is going to be the one to make melt it. And then you have to be able to, after that, you have to be able to see the white melted sebum comes up to the surface so that you can rub it out. But never squeeze it because it's only making worse. And also it needs a temperature because you have to melt the oil to make a soap, right? So if you do with your skin temperature, then you might have to stand for a longer time because the skin temperature is not hot enough. But if you do have a steamer at home, it's better. Well, you could do it in the shower, even if it's a bit bothersome. Then if you do it in the shower, it gives a steam by itself, so make it a little shorter or better. Then you can rub it out after. You have to inform like that because otherwise your client will waste the products. your client normally when they go home just put it on, and then in an air temperature it dries already, and it's not gonna work, and then they don't like this product, and then you are the one who recommended, and then they don't see the result. How embarrassing is that? So you have to be able to inform to the client correctly in that way. And then yourself, you know everything yourself, but then so many of the therapists into the room, and I look at their steps, they just put it, whatever, put it on, and it's dried already, don't even know how to put the steamer correctly, and then dry, and then after take it off 15 minutes later, you did the décolletage already, nothing to do. 15 minutes later, the time is running, nothing came up. That's because you don't know this small single step. If you don't know how to use it, you don't make a result in your facial. So small thing, you have to be aware of that while you're doing that, how it works.